Okay, I thought this part would be worth a video, especially for Wayne. Here's a short course truck. This is what I was trying to show you in the hobby shop. Once you get the screws out, there you go. Now, how's that? Got the motor right here. This is going to fit. It's going to be perfect in there. The motor fits right in the back. It's going to be pretty much a perfect fit. The I don't know, the back seat, I'm hoping the back seat goes in like so. I think it's going to just squeak behind that back seat too. This is going to be it's going to be perfect. Yeah, now I've got to cut the opening in this part so that I can, I'll have to very carefully, I'll have to lay this down and lay this out. And I think, I don't know, you know what I might be able to do? I might be able to cut away the hump right here and put a piece of plate right across there. I don't know if you can, let me set this down. If I cut away the hump and put a plate right across there, I could bolt the whole back right to that plate. It'd have to be, say, maybe this wide, and I'd go as far across as I could, and then bring this down to bolt to the plate. I think that might work really, really well. I've got at least two, possibly, I could possibly use all four of the mounting holes in here. This was only held on with 4 screws. You got 2 that went through right here, and 2 that went in right here. So it was just 2 on each side. And we'll have to see once I get this cut out. I don't know, I can make some, it might actually end up being a plate that's kind of like a T. It'll come here and then it'll come down in a little T to meet up with the front tab on the, it's like the whole rear suspension assembly. It's got the motor in there. This is going to be just perfect. And for right now, I'm going to get it together and get it running. I'm not going to do anything with shortening the suspension. But later on, when I want to shorten the suspension, for me it's going to be pretty easy. I've only really got to make 2 pieces, and that's the lower control arms. And I'll just make them out of flat aluminum. I'll probably put the lightning holes in them just, to be fancy. But it's basically just a mill a notch in the end. You mill a notch in the end right there and then drill a hole through for the knuckle, So those will be pretty easy to replace out of aluminum. And as for the upper control arms, they're plastic. If worse comes to worse, I can cut them, shorten them, and pin them back together. Or I can make small aluminum arms to replace them. I'll have to see. It's got like a ball joint on there. I'll have to see once I get it apart. And then as far as the axles are concerned, the axles are telescoping so that they move when the suspension moves. So there's enough at full compression. I still got 1/8 of an inch on the tube. I might not even have to cut the tube. If I do, I might just have to shorten it just a little bit, like 100 thou maybe. That's like 2.5 millimeters. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to work out just perfect. Should have done it a long time ago. Actually, if I bolt right to it, it might be I don't know, it might be just right if I bolt right to the bottom. I'm thinking it'll fit right about like that. I gotta see what it looks like once I get it together with these big ass fenders back here. Because it'll be out to the, let's see if I can get them lined up in a way that you can see it. It's about 1/4 to almost half the width of the tire. Is how much each side has to be shortened. About half the width of the tire, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, this is going to be great, dude. So we're off and running, and I think that the suspension in the buggy might be good for the Schwimmwagen, because I was watching videos of the stuff they do every year at Bovington and that place over. It's in one of the Scandinavian countries. I can't remember, but they have a pretty big show of all different kind of military vehicles, everything from Kettenkrads to the one in the Netherlands or wherever the hell it's at. It's got they've got a Stug 3 and they've got a Hetzer, and then of course there's one in England where they got King Tiger number 233, I think it is. And they've always got all kind of Schwimmwagens and Kubel wagons and motorcycles and all that stuff running along with them. So I was looking at a lot of those, watching the Schwimmwagens as they go by, and I'm pretty sure their whole suspension setup is kind of like this with the independent suspension. So I'm hoping that the buggy might work in there. If not, I'll buy another one of these if it'll fit. We'll have to see. I think next I'm going to do the Africa Corps Kubel and then the Schwimmwagen. But we'll see what happens. All right, sorry this was so long. Talk to you next time.